Josh Bowden, I should say, and Danny Washbrook.
Yeah, the Wigan pack will be talking to themselves as much as talking about the opposition there, aren't they? You saw Mickey Pryor there. They play physical as well, don't they, up front, Wigan? They're known for that. So they'll be just calling the whole players out on that by doing that. It's certainly going to be very confrontational up front.
A comment made by Lee Radford on reviewing Wigan's performance in round one is that it appeared to him that they, in his words, were giving the ball more air. A criticism of Wigan last year, not just the results that they finished sixth on the table, but they were unattractive to watch. He believes they've addressed that. It's only round one evidence, but it looks, it said, a bit more attractive, a bit more expansive.
That's great to hear because it's the right thing to do. There's that much talent in this young Wigan back line that they have to do that. So lay the base early and then rip in with that expensive game.
We are not far away from kick-off now. More pomp and ceremony to bring you from Wollongong. And to take you through the game, it's Bill Arthur.
Ladies and gentlemen, before two of England's most renowned rugby league sides compete in today's historic fixture, we ask that everybody be upstanding as we welcome Nick Gentile, who will perform God Save the Queen.
We've had Super League in France, in Scotland, in Wales, in Spain, even in Millwall. And now Super League comes to the Gong, to Wollongong in the Illawarra. And it's Wigan Warriors against Hull FC. The formality's over. There are 2 Super League points at stake as well as that Kenny Sterling shield. And that is the focus for these 2 sides when it comes down to it. But what an occasion for these 2 clubs, for their supporters as well, who've made the journey and are enjoying this game in about 24 degrees of heat. And as you can see from the players already on the face of Tommy Luluai, it's humid out there as well. It's a warm, sticky evening by the Pacific. Very different to back home.
Thanks, Mike.
And they've got in some good work as well this week in prime conditions.
Ready to go?
And Phil Clark, Tony Ray joining me for this coverage from the Wynn Stadium as the Wigan Warriors get this game underway, and the sounds of Old Faithful belting out, and that has been one of the things that the locals have noticed. There was a function in Wollongong earlier in the week where the Hull supporters turned up in numbers and launched into Old Faithful and nearly took the roof off the venue. Really impressed the natives, that did. Here come Hull then, with Mark Minicello, who's already picked up a title this week. Minicello won a prawn peeling competition in the neighbourhood at one of the events the players went to. Now Mickey Pryor.
Well, that's an impressive start from the Hull side there. They've taken the ball inside their own in-goal area and marched 60 metres almost upfield here, the first set of possession. High kick now from Kelly.
Kelly given time to pick his spot with that kick.
Fantastic catch by Liam Marshall. His first touch is a great one there, and that'll boost his confidence.
Here's Gildart. It was a wicked kick. That's a wicked chase, and Gildart quickly closed down by the Hull defenders. Some power in this Hull pack that we're gonna have to contain early on here, you feel. And Hull taking on Tony Clubb there. Clubb makes a few more metres for the Warriors. That's the 5th tackle. Referee today, is Matt Chechin, who's refereed the last two NRL Grand Finals, so the side's in good hands as far as the officials go.
Well, a lost ball there. Berretti Ferimo has lost possession, although the referee has awarded a penalty here, a strip.
And
There's an injury for him. Just going to say one of the big challenges for Hull this year is to replace Mahe Fanua, who was a sensational right winger for them in previous seasons, particularly last year. He's left the club, and Ferimo here in his first tackle there. Marshall, oh, he stripped the ball, hasn't he, with his right hand?
Ferimo's picked up a knock there. He must have hit somebody's knee, I think, as he went in.
No, it was a nasty head clash. He actually copped a forehead straight to his jaw. It was a total accident.
And he looks very, very shaky indeed. That's... well, I wonder whether he's going to take any further part in this. Ferimo there.
An accidental clash of heads there from the top of Liam Marshall. He's going straight back into the changing rooms.
Well, that's a setback early on for Hull FC. They get the penalty, but they lose their new recruit, Beretta Ferimo. Here they are now with Sikamanu. Only about 20 metres or so out now. Hadley, Hadley gets clattered as he got the pass away there. But in a good position. Tackles to go, Taylor. Mickey Paya's lost the ball. And referee Chechin says that's a knock-on.
Well, relief for Wigan there. Hull looked strong, didn't they? They were moving the ball, but we might see a few hand errors. He puts his hands up. It's a simple mistake he's come up with. And Wigan were relieved here to get their hands back on the ball. Nice pass. You see the Hull forwards in previous years have been good. Forwards passing to forwards has caused problems for their opponents.
It's interesting you see that sort of a handling area early on, and having come out of the wet, freezing conditions, these conditions, funnily enough, in ball handling are very similar. We often talk in Australia in pre-season games, it's like playing a wet weather game because your hands are so covered in sweat. So these teams will be used to that, funnily enough, from playing in the snow and the sleet that we saw last weekend. So the conditions from a handling point of view are very similar, despite the absolute reverse of the temperature.
Well, here come Wigan, ball in hand and in the hands of Farrell now. And Farrell to Marshall. Marshall has the pace. Marshall has the legs on Shaw. First try of the game goes to the Wigan Warriors. And they did that last week against the Salford Red Devils. Escaray finished off on that occasion. They've done it again, worked it out to that side. And Marshall this time had the pace. He got two against Salford last week. He's got the first of this game at the Wynn Stadium in Wollongong. Wigan hitting Hull on the break there.
Goes back to the brilliance and the vision here of George Williams, being able to delay the right pass. He had two options, Tompkins or Farrell, and he made the right choice at exactly the right time. He then tasked Liam Marshall with having enough pace to get in the corner, and he does a brilliant job. What a fantastic start it's been to the game for him. Great catch and good timing here to put himself in the right position. The pass from Liam Farrell cannot be underestimated. It was inviting to Marshall, and hopefully has set him on the way here for the first 6 points. There's 4 already on the board. You know, the Wigan left winger last year scored 30% of the team's tries. They get the ball to that side of the field primarily because of George Williams' brilliance, and then Hope, who's ever standing in that jersey, has the ability to go over and score.
On the other side of the coin there for Hull, that is a direct result of the injury we saw. That's the same side of the field that Ferremo's come off from, and you could see Hull even when that error came. The error came from Mickey Pye because the halfbacks were uncertain. They're not sure what's happened to that right head. There's no natural replacement there, and what's happened is Connor's gone onto the wing. Danny Washbrook's come on, I think, gone into the centres, and Kelly was outside him, and they were confused. And that created that wonderful opening for Wigan to get through there.
Well, Sam Tompkins has been working with Charlie Hodgson, ex-rugby union internationally, on his goal kicking. Has it made a difference?
Well, he kicked 6 from 7 against Salford last week. He's got things off to a flyer for the Wigan Warriors. They've taken the drum with them as well, all the way to Wollongong. And Liam Marshall, who got 23 tries in 24 appearances last year, joint young player of the year for the Warriors with his wing partner Tom Davis. Well, he has got the first try of this game. So Hull paying the price for that early error. And an error there. Oh, dear me. How are the mighty fallen?
Well, you have to live in the moment, and at the moment he's not happy with his error there. Good kick off though. Hull now putting under pressure, high in the corner. And Tony spoke about the conditions here on the ball, the moisture, the atmosphere, and it goes straight through the arms. Simple knock on here, 10 metres out. Hull get a chance to strike back.
0-0 for Liam Marshall. Very swiftly the knock on. And Hull will be looking to capitalise on that. Great position for them then to put some pressure on this Warriors defence. Minicello now, Italy's World Cup captain. Mickey Paya holds on this time and wrestling his way towards those posts. Matt Chechin having a good close look on things at the ruck there. Houghton sweeps the ball away. Short pass finds Minicello, but so does Sean O'Loughlin. Back in the Warriors side to lead them on this historic occasion. Taylor now.
That's footwork just jumped outside of Flower. The centre field now, their left side, will they go that way? They do.
Skipping with Sneed, but Sneed is spun to the ground. Good defence from Tony Clubb, and Clubb has another little go at him. Could have been penalised there on the last. Kelly, crossfield kick. Marshall under pressure, bats the ball down, looks to the referee, and he says the ball went backwards. That was risky.
But backwards from a Hull player, and fortunately for Wigan, into the arms of Oliver Gildart. The referee blows his penalty, blows his whistle I should say. This will be a penalty here to Wigan. Takes all of the pressures off the Warriors here now and get them out of that red zone of their own end of the field.
So a pretty frantic start to this game. 7 minutes gone, we've lost a player already with Beretta Faraimo off the field with a head knot, and I'm not sure whether he'll be able, even at this early stage. He looked very groggy.
Yeah, that's very much like it would be a case he wouldn't be back on, which makes that kick to that corner interesting with Danny Washbrook, a back rower, playing on the wing, and they were kicking to him. So I think they have to readjust a lot of their strategy. They probably targeted Marshall as a shorter winger, as a guy that Faraimo could get over, but that's not going to be the case now. They do need to readjust to back-to-back penalties in these heats with the scoreboard against you. That's exactly what you don't need to be doing, Hull.
High shots, says the referee.
Well, both penalties here now will take them up. It is high contact, isn't it, by Mickey Paya and Ben Flower. There's no argument that that's a penalty. Contact with the head. And a great kick to touch here. Not sure about the wind in this stadium, which way it's blowing, but Wigan immediately from one end of the field to the other.
Here is Tony Clubb now.
It's an error.
And Clubb loses the ball in the tackle. An opportunity goes begging for the Warriors, and Clubb holds his hand up.
It's just a case now of how you deal with those. They're going to come all game. It's, you know, we just mentioned the grip's difficult. It's early season. You're not in such great form. He just gets a nice shot. It's just jarred out simply there. Ricochets around. It's going to happen. It's how you deal with them. Put pressure on the kick, put pressure on them to see if they can fill us Hull into an error now. What was going to be interesting is would Wigan have gone back to their left-hand side to attack this weakened now Hull right-hand side? We'll watch that next time they come down this end of the field.
Hull trailing early on here now after that Liam Marshall try, converted by Sam Tompkins. And Faraimo off the field for the black and whites. Houghton, Hadley, preferred at loose forwards for this game. No Gareth Ellis, of course. Another penalty. This one goes the way of FC.
Well, they made a lot of ground on that single play, didn't they? Dean Hadley, back at the club after a season out on loan, seems to be playing a pivotal role in carrying the ball, tying in defenders, and then releasing a pass to some big men outside him.
So the penalty goes Hull's way and allows them to turn the tables on the Warriors, who just a few moments ago had a great position but squandered that. Here they come now with Connor. The great first season in Hull colours did Jake Connor. Here's Scott Taylor. Taylor bang in front of those posts. It's about 11 metres out. He's Kelly now. Kelly, little step from him. Slips past the tackle of Clubb, but who else? O'Loughlin is there to stop his progress. Houghton. Taylor puts the brakes on, and then he's clamped by Clubb. Houghton comes to the right. Kelly. Oh, the ball's knocked on, and a bit of communication breakdown, I think, there.
Well, disappointing standard for this game in the opening 10 minutes. Super League wanting to show people in Australia how good the game is. Hasn't transpired here. Too many mistakes here. The pass too hard. Can't take it in. Compliment George Williams for bending his back and making sure he hit Connor to fill that gap. But I think both teams will want to press the reset button.
Jake Connor, try-scorer in Hull's round 1 victory against the Huddersfield Giants last week, when they came back from a half-time deficit to win 38 points to 12. Wigan off to a flyer as well, 40-12 winners at Salford. Here they are a week later in Wollongong in 24-degree heat, and another knock, another stoppage. It's Ben Flower who's got a shiner coming up there.
Well, I think he was injured last week at Salford, only played for just over 20 minutes in that match. He's had 1 or 2 bangs, a little cut above the eye.
Hop in, mate, I'll give you the out call. Time on, please. Out!
The fans on the John Cleary Hill in the background, the Pacific at their backs. Not a bad place to be watching your rugby league.
Release now! Hold!
If it is a hot day like this, you do want that ocean breeze coming in. That's one thing this stadium is famous for.
Getting out!
Williams.
Go 2. Pass is good.
Here is Marshall again. Marshall taking him on once more. He's got the legs again. They've done it again. He's got a second. The referee's going to go to his video ref just to check on this one.
On tackle 3, mate. I have a try. Just confirm there's no obstruction.
And
about
it's obstruction
30
that
metres
Matt
out.
Chetchin
Thank you.
wants his video ref to look at. Steve Chitty is the
Possible
video ref
obstruction, mate.
for
I
this
just want to
game.
make sure he caught the ball.
Well, I
in the right
thought Marshall's first try was a good one, but this is even better. It's a brilliant deceleration and acceleration, isn't it? He just slows down temporarily and then goes away from them, and none
Further
of
back,
them
mate.
can readjust quickly enough. Both Connor and Shaw are quick players, but he's embarrassed them there to make that look easy as he grounds the ball again 5 metres in from touch. Wigan did this several times inside their own half of the field. They give the ball to George Williams and they have a wave of attack coming down this left-hand side. The Hull side clearly outnumbered. Washbrook, he'd committed. Jake Connor's gone in there now. I can't see any indication for any obstruction in any of this, so I'm unsure is exactly what the referee is checking.
Well, Albert Kelly gets knocked over on the inside of the field there, but it did look like
Yeah, I've got
it was a
mine turned
pure
right down
accident. It was actually Sycamore who picked, I think it was Ben Flower, pushed him into him, so that'll be a try. And again, let's have a look.
Stephen Chitty, the video ref, agrees. Well, he is the man whose decision matters. The try confirmed, and Liam Marshall gets his second, and Hull undone once again.
And again on that left side. Let's go back to the injury, and we're just hearing Ferramo won't be coming back onto the field at all, so he is gone. So Hull's issues aren't going away. This man here, he might be in for more than the 2 he's already got early on, because they are lost out here defensively. It's a high risk, high reward. They've gone with all forwards on the bench. They've got no back there to really come in and take the place of the wing that's gone, and Liam Marshall is taking full advantage of that. Brilliant play from Wigan. Brilliant work to set up that field.
Tompkins with the goal-kicking duties from wide out. Oh! So close. Shake of the head. But Wigan already 10-0 up, and Hull with problems. Marshall having a field day.
Well,
2
Wigan have
tries
got
to
competition
him already.
I mean, you look at the competition Wigan have to play on the wing for them. Joe Burgess not even selected for this game. You know, Tom Davis on the other side has been playing very, very well.
Don't forget Don Manfredi, who should be back in the spring. So Hull having a torrid start to this game. As Tony said, they've lost Ferramo for the rest of this game. More Super League action to come. We're off to France later on in New South Wales. First thing in the morning, and ending the day in the southwest of France with Catalan Dragons against St Helens. 5 p.m. That's on Sky Sports Arena. Can Saints build on that impressive round 1 performance against the Castleford Tigers? Can the Catalan Dragons get themselves into some sort of shape after their dreadful opening performance? You can find out later on here on Sky Sports. It's Wigan who are dominating early on, and just for a change, they show the ball to their right-hand side. I don't think Sargentson and Davis have seen it yet, have they?
I think their main focus today will be to defend, won't it? Because Hull, they've not got a bad player either. Tuli Talanoa scored a few tries. Here they go again, the space for left wing.
Marshall could be in for 3 here. No, the kick ahead didn't come off. Gildart trying it, ricochets off a Hull player.
Why did he kick? Why did he kick? He'd done all the work. It was just a simple pop pass, it looked like. Don't complicate this. Let's have a look at from we're seeing this right. It seems like they've already created the space. They're straightening him up and he's gone. I think that's a try miss there. I think a nice simple pass without the kick. The speed we've seen. O'Connor's on his heels there. He's flat-footed. He's looking in.
Shortcut here, boys.
Isn't that interesting? They're playing down that right-hand side, Bill, just to recruit some defenders over there. So when they went to Sargent's side, they just wanted to drag the whole players over towards that side of the line. And by the time they'd done that, they're opening up that space. It's clever play. Let's see if they go there again in this set.
Well, that time, Sargentson is collared, but he still manages to get the ball away to young Tom Davis. He plays the ball. Here is Joel Tompkins now. Hull just trying to regroup. They've got another problem. Talanoa clutching his forearm there as O'Loughlin gets the pass away. Short ball finds Farrell. Farrell almost to the line. Just short. But this is once more Wigan threatening, but the ball is snapped up by Connor. And now Connor hasn't got the pace and puts the brakes on the 40-metre line. Could he have gone? Could he have backed himself?
Well, not with a number of red and white jerseys surrounding him. It was amazing how many got back so quickly then on that break. You have to compliment the reaction there to an interception was superb.
They caught him within 40, so he's never going to get there, Bill. I think he was just relieved to have the ball back in there, and here's a chance, other side of the field.
Griffin cutting back in field. Shaw screaming for the pass. It didn't come. And again, Wigan managed to stop, but this is a good opportunity for Hull. The Wigan defence regrouping. Hull trying to keep them on the back foot as Hadley goes down about 11 metres out. Sikamanu. Here is Kelly now. Nicky Paya. Flower with the tackle. O'Loughlin in there as well. On the last, Kelly hoists the kick. Sargentson goes up for it. The ball is lost. And Sam Tompkins makes it dead. Griffin so close. You can see the perspiration, the humidity really making it tough for these players.
Well, games are full of bursts of maximum efforts, and Wigan did that to recover there from the break and get back and survive this set. The referee just has to determine here now, was it a knock-on from the Hull side? He was unsure. He said it was in the field of play. It's the reason why now we have a play the ball to Wigan, but
risky play from Sam Tompkins, isn't it? Just to throw the ball like that's a big assumption that the referees assumed it was off a Hull hand. Otherwise, they're drop out under their own posts, and he's put his team under an enormous amount of pressure in these conditions.
They got away with that decision.
I suppose jet lag's also a factor that we haven't mentioned. You know, it's a quick turnaround to get down there. It's difficult to be high performance, particularly early in the game. I think they'll settle into the game, and now that they've got used to the conditions and they're out there getting amongst it.
Wigan ahead by 10 points to 0. Deep kick. Oh, and communication breakdown between Connor and Shaw, and they look at each other.
Is that jet lag?
And Oliver Gildart just chipping in there, making his contribution to the debate.
well, it's hard to recover from a bad start, and that's the task that Hull have now. They lost a player, Fremo, with injury. They've conceded 2 tries, embarrassing circumstances. And then Jake Connor seems to get in front of Jamie Shaw. A lot of finger pointing and blame going on.
Connor furious. But they've only got themselves to blame for that one. Willie Isa standing by to come on.
He's been a fantastic squad player for Wigan last season. It was only George Williams and Tommy Lulu had more game time than Willie Isa. They used him often, used him in a variety of different positions, and he was an effective contributor to the team's cause.
Big family attendance for Willie Isa at this game. His family, which is quite extensive, have taken the opportunity to come and watch him play. They don't get that opportunity very often, obviously, so they come in numbers, and he's on the field, just taking his place now. There he is at the bottom of the screen, and Wigan once more on the front foot, once more attacking on this flank, but Sam Tompkins has other ideas, weaving back towards the post.
That seems to be the first time that Hull had enough defenders to prevent Wigan exploiting them on the left.
Well, now they're going to try and exploit them on the right. Come back again with Joel Tompkins to this side, and Tompkins, he's got him by the seat of his pants, and Farrell can't take that pass, and just sloppy again.
Well, it might have taken almost 20 minutes, but it does appear as though Hull have started now to get the right players in the right places on this right-hand side when Wigan shift the ball. With the first encouraging sign for Lee Radford there that they could cope with Wigan when they shifted it to Williams and Farrell, Gildat side of the field. He's desperate to keep the ball alive.
Farrell couldn't take the pass. The ball slithering away from him. And Jake Connor feeling a bit of a knee problem. And Hull, of course, have got another game to play in Australia next weekend. They play St George Illawarra, while Wigan take on South Sydney before they both head home for Super League fixtures the following weekend. So it's a tough few weeks, and the thing you don't want to do is to come back with a few bruised bodies.
It's an exciting few weeks for them. It's exciting for them. It'll be very... we also got the Melbourne Leeds game, of course, next Friday morning, which will be a fantastic prelude to that. But these teams will come back better for this experience. You've got to remember that. A couple of bumps and bruises, well, they'll get that up here. You can't say they won't get them in the Super League game up here. They'll be down there. They'll be learning a lot. They'll be getting stronger as a group. Hull are going to dig their way out of it. They're 10-0 behind. They've had a bit of adversity with the winger there. They're going to have to readjust. Phil's identified that they may have been able to get some numbers over that, be thinking on the road. That makes you a better team. Great experience for them. This game is a long way from over, and there's that next one, Bill.
South against Wigan then. That's the other game next Saturday at 40 Sky Sports Arena. So a busy weekend coming up. Super League games as well, Thursday and Friday. So it's a lively start to the season here on Sky Sports. And a lively start to this game. It's calmed down a little bit now. Liam Marshall enjoyed himself early on with those 2 tries, but Hull maybe just settling into the game a bit after that disruption early on. Here is Kelly. Houghton now. Shaw kicks over the top. And in the end, Clubb has to boot the ball dead.
It's a great kick, and the first contribution in my eyes there from Jamie Shaw, who's a great fullback, a talented player. We haven't seen him have his hands on the ball or make a kick as he has here in this situation. But he's eventually, after 20 minutes, injected himself into the action and shown that he can be a dangerous attacking threat, an option that Hull need. I think nowadays probably the fullback's possibly the most important position in a rugby league team, both in terms of attack and defence. But we haven't seen really yet much from Hull's fullback. Jake Connor playing wide on the right. It's the first time here with a goal line dropout. You'd expect to see some sort of attacking scenario. 6 players here were usually where they'll test Wigan's defence.
First goal line dropout of the game, in fact, after that neat kick from Jamie Shaw, and reaches the halfway line.
What they should be looking to do here, Hull, is go to that left-hand side a little bit, where they are more settled, where this is helpful for them. You know, they created pressure on Wigan. They've drawn an error out here. A couple of times I've just noticed in the background that man kicking the ball, Mark Sneed's been throwing his hands in the air, a bit disappointed because he wanted the ball on the left-hand side of the field, but Albert Kelly's dominated the ball away from him to the right. I think he needs to get that out to that left-hand side and have a real crack at the Wigan right-hand defence.
Here's Josh Bowden now, has come off the bench for Hull FC. And Sneed, Kelly little step, but he's upended. Willie Isa with the tackle. Talima Tautai replacing Tony Clubb there, just on the field, Tautai. Here is Sneed, he's got the ball in his hands, so has Sika Manu now. popular figure with the Hull supporters. Sikamanu plays the ball. Houghton does a little run around, but Kelly is immediately closed down. Good work from Tompkins there. Really brought the shutters down quickly on the Hull danger man. Sneed, little step from him. They'll chase it. Oh, just run out of room. Griffin was going for it hell for leather, but couldn't get there in time.
When not only has the ball gone over play, it looks as though Josh Griffin may also have taken a minor injury here. We've seen Shaw's kick set up one goal line dropout. This is a kick to try to score from. It's too strong. And I think, again, Wigan's defence was good. It may need to be again here now because they're going to have another spill of it.
Free play, here's Jake Connor, and Connor will try and turn the tables on Marshall. Gets the ball back in field to Hadley. Well, Marshall put the tackle in. Hadley trying to get away from the clutches of Sam Tompkins there. So Hull, can they capitalise on that Wigan mistake? They're about 8 metres out now. Kelly, ball in hand. Gets the pass away to Sneed. Sneed fires the pass up to Shaw. Shaw, and Talanoa, has he got that ball down in the corner? He reckons he has. And it's another call for the video ref. Matt Chechin
too, mate. Live decision of try.
We've got a try. We've got a Hull comeback.
Thanks, mate.
But he wants his video ref to have a look at this.
Well, Fatula Talanoa scored 3 tries last week, and it looks as though, from my first impression, he scored the first one here tonight. It's great body awareness, isn't it, to be able to go ground this if he does. We're going to short for numbers. But Tom Davis, even though he's got a couple of guys, backs off, buys himself some time, moves across as quick as he can, but it appears to me Talanoa's body's in the air and he grounds the ball. He's over the sideline. Doesn't seem like any of the feet are touching.
One more frame, down. So just rock back one more frame. I think that left arm's still up.
Left forearm.
Have you got something that's going to show us that elbow?
Is that making contact with the whitewash before the ball's making contact with the ground? Here you go. Have a look at this
slow
one.
in here.
Stephen Chiddy, the video ref, a very experienced video ref official. He's a product of the Manly Warringah Referees Association, which also produced the RFL's former referees controller Greg McCallum and other notable officials. Stephen Chiddy having a good look at this one.
I think we've got to give Tom Davis some credit here because he was outnumbered. It could have been easier for him to just allow Talanoa to score it, but he made that extra effort to make it difficult, and it's put some doubt in the mind of the official.
It's very true. He really put pressure on this bloke to score a try. Gee, he knows how to get that. It's amazing to see. I know we see wingers do it all the time. We're starting to take that for granted, but that's just a superb effort from Talanoa.
And the black and white supporters who've made the journey have something to cheer about after a wobbly start to this game. Fatula Talanoa, hat-trick hero against Huddersfield last week, gets their first try of the game.
It's really interesting when he's the man they're going to have to go to his side of the field. We mentioned it in the lead-up. The Mark Sneed, who gets the ball off this pass, he looks far more comfortable. He's seeing good reads outside of that side of the defence. We've got ourselves a ball game now. Hull attacking to their left, Wigan attacking to their left. So it's going to be really interesting seeing. They also built some good pressure there, Hull. The little forced restart from Shaw at the back, and then they forced a penalty, and then they got another drop ball. So it's good to see them building some pressure and rewarded for it.
Sneed with this difficult conversion attempt from out wide, sets it on its way and just wide of the target. I think he borrowed a couple of feet there. That was a lot further in than Talanoa touched that ball down, but either way, Hull have points on the board.
Well, after a slow start, it looks as though Hull have got into this game now. It's taken just over 20 minutes, but they got the defence right 5 minutes ago, and now for the first time they've shown some accuracy with their attack.
Maybe he got the kick in the right place. Looking at that again, but he couldn't get it in the right place as far as the points go. 10-4 the scoreline at the Wynn Stadium as Wigan restart. 25 minutes on the clock.
Well, here's Liam Watts, isn't it? His last encounter against Wigan only lasted for about 20 minutes. Got a red card in that one, a controversial one.
That was the raised elbow incident.
Up now, let's go!
So Watts back in action. And that whole pack doesn't let up. Here they come now. Watts looking for the pass, but Shaw on his own.
Done a very good job off the bench, Watts and Bowden. They've come on and they've really, and then Washbrook's added again, another bench player that's come on. They've just, Hull needed that. 20 minutes in, behind on the scoreboard. You have to bring energy to the team when you come off the bench, and they've done that really well.
Kelly clattered as he got that kick away. I think it was Willie Isa who cleaned him out. And Tompkins dodging and evading the challenges. And Wigan countering now. And countering well.
That's brilliant play from first to Tompkins, then Davis. I mean, Sam Tompkins made several defenders make an effort to get to him, release Davis and up over the halfway line.
You're right, but that's huge in the context of the game for Wigan, wasn't it? They've been under pressure and been back over the halfway with the ball, ready to go out to this left side that they want to get at. That was huge.
There's Morgan Escray now.
Trying to get it in again on this side. Escray just having a disagreement with Kelly. Short passes well taken because there was heavy traffic in the middle of the field there. Something I think it was. Farrell, lovely run around. The ball bounces off a whole hand. Wigan head and feet, I should imagine.
Well, they put that little intricate run around on last week at Salford. They've done it again here now. They've waited over 20 minutes just to see if the opponents tire and then make a mistake. Just watch here, the pass goes and then round. Gildert's already gone through the hole as an option runner to try and deceive the opposition.
He probably mistimed that, didn't he, Gildert? He just wasn't the genuine option there, which created the ability for the defender to bounce off him and go and get Escray. So they'll be able to do that a little bit technically better next time round.
Dan Sargent, some blood coming from the brow. Back in Australia, Sarge, after his ill-fated spell with Gold Coast, injury hampering his season there, only made 5 appearances. So looking to get things back on track. Here he is now. And Wigan from that scrum after that whole knock-on to Lima Tautai. Tautai taking him on the way he loves to. Set Bowden back on his heels, right in front of those posts now. Ooh, Tompkins juggling with it. A little darting step from Escray going backwards and hounded. And well hounded down by Jordan Abdul, but here they come again. Isa. Williams puts a little grubber kick in. Marshall will chase, and Marshall, I think, just ran out of room. The ball running dead.
Well, they're going to have a look at it. He's forced them to. George Williams for some years now has been excellent, hasn't he, at putting that kick behind the line. He teases them because he's thrown so many passes. The defenders are waiting for the pass play. Slides the ball in behind them and then knows that he's centre winger. Well, you're tasked to get there as quickly as you can. Did he get there quickly enough?
Video ref Stephen Chiddy getting plenty of work in the first half hour of this game. Third call for his services. Could it be a third try for Liam Marshall? Checking the onside.
Can't see the wing of it.
Looks
He's in
good.
line with the 4. Have you got anything higher for us on that?
It's going to be whether he gets the ball in the in-goal area in time, isn't it?
He's missed that, hasn't he?
Well, they're firstly checking to see if he's onside, so is he behind the kick? I think he will be. They're so frequent at trying that. Look how he kicks off his right foot, he's bent his body, George Williams. He's committed all the defenders.
So nice and slow here. He's gone over the top of that.
He's missed the ball, doesn't he?
If he'd been able to get downward pressure on that, there was still room.
That's our best angle. We'll make a call on that. He's knocked on the in goal, mate.
But he went over the top. Liam Marshall, he's missed that opportunity. Just waiting for the confirmation from the video ref. And it is no try for the Wigan winger.
Just wait, please, fellas.
Knock on is the decision. Was a very good kick. And Hull escape. 10-4 the scoreline at the Wynn Stadium. With 2 tries for Liam Marshall, very nearly 3 for the Wigan winger. There's a knock on at that play the ball. Talanoa mystified.
He says he's lost the ball as he's got up to play. You know, we had a break in play for that video referee. Very often you see players' concentrations drop when the game stops for a moment or two. There's any interference from Wigan. When you play against the Warriors, you have to make sure that you limit the number of play the ball fumbles. The defenders are on you, there's contact.
It must have been after that, because there didn't appear to be anything happening there. It must be when he's getting up to play the ball. We'll have a little look. This man with the ball, George Williams, the only constant in the playmaking decisions here at Wigan. The number 7 at dummy half, Sam Powell, he's now gone to hooker, which makes it interesting. Forget about the number 1, Sam Tompkins, being fullback. He's now in the half. 20 Oscaro's gone to fullback. So it's a whole interesting new rotation that we're seeing from Wigan this season. Let's see how it pans out. A lot of pressure on Wigan and Williams, particularly to hold the steering wheel, while Powell now dominates the ruck.
A lot of pressure on Wigan to improve on last season's disappointment, in actual fact. That's their target this year. Sargentson hurdling over whole bodies to get closer to that line. There is still a whole player down. Issa gets the pass away. Here is Williams. Williams goes wide. Oh, Gildart held on.
Wow, it seemed certain, didn't it, that the pass would set up Marshall for the hat-trick. Last tackle. Hull put pressure on the kicker. Hadley comes up quickly on Williams, but it's kicked into the in-goal area.
And the ball...
Sam Tompkins has gone through his arms, hasn't it? Again, we're not sure he would have grounded it in time. The game speeded up, Wigan certain of that.
That was surely a hat-trick try for Liam Marshall there if he got the pass away.
We said it before, didn't we? It's the second time now. He's just got to realise, keep this simple. The guy's going to burn him for speed, utilise Marshall's speed, just pop the ball up to him. I'm sure they'd be having that conversation now. It wouldn't be a very friendly one.
So another let-off perhaps for Hull. Marshall denied by the video ref, and then the possibility of an option there, but it's Hull coming forward now.
Sometimes, you know, when it's so obvious, they overcomplicate it. This is too easy to do. We do have to make up a bigger decision. He just needs to calm down and keep it simple.
Scott Taylor now for Hull FC. Little kick ahead, oh, lovely hands from Morgan Escaray. That ball was fizzing along the deck and he just scooped it out.
Seems to have great balance, Escaray. He can stop and change direction quicker than most of his opponents. He's strong in the tackle. He wrestles through a few of them. And he's a handful, isn't he? His players tackle here now, 30 minutes into the game. Tyre, I should say. Escaray's not the player you want to be challenged with on a one-on-one if he comes at you with the fast feet.
Sargentson plays the ball. Talima Tautai gets the pass away, and Williams almost through with looking over his shoulder. Tautai once more. Wigan, well, they are giving it air, and they're giving it to Davis. Davis, little chip kick ahead. Sargentson will chase, and Sargentson looking to finish. Couldn't quite get there. That's the 5th tackle. There's still an opportunity here. Tompkins gets the pass away, fires it out to Gildart, and Gildart is clattered by Washbrook.
Heroic defence by the Hull players here. It seems certain that first they'd made the break and scored down the right-hand side of the field. Tom Davis here, difficult for him with the left footer playing on the right wing, kicks the ball back inside. Sargentson's there for it, but Kelly's effort first to slow him down, and Connors then to save the try. It was a relatively slow play the ball. Wigan couldn't quite transfer the ball quickly enough to the left, and then you think, well, here's another try. But Washbrook, he's played in almost every position, been handed every role in his career at Hull, and he's come up with an amazing try-saving tackle as the right winger there, outnumbered, outflanked.
How did they survive? 3-on-1 that was.
And they've got more problems with Jake Connor down injured now. As you said, most teams have forwards as substitutes on the bench. It appears as though they could have lost the winger and the right centre here.
Well, we saw Connor struggling earlier on with a knee problem.
The wrestling match.
Yeah. Referee tries break. And Hull, who have survived by the skin of their teeth at times in this game. Counter again with Griffin, and Griffin goes on the outside of Davis. And eventually the winger comes back to stop his progress, aided by Escaré. But here comes Jamie Shaw now. On the last, Shaw puts a little grubber kick in. Oh, confusion at the back. Marshall in all sorts of trouble. And Abdul has touched that one down.
Kids.
And Stephen Chiddy has got another decision to make. He really is earning his crust this evening in Wollongong. Referee Matt Chechen reckons it's a try, but just wants the video ref to untangle that schmozzle. But it's Jordan Abdul who could have his first try of this campaign. Celebrated his 22nd birthday last weekend. Is this a belated birthday present?
Well, you feel as though we've just watched a 12-point swing here. What should have been or could have been a Wigan try at one end appears as though it could be a try under the post for Hull at the other. It's a mistake there, isn't it, between Escaré and Marshall. Is there any foul committed by Jamie Shaw on Marshall? I don't think so. He doesn't hit the ball, and eventually it sits there vitally for Jordan Abdul, puts it down with the left hand. And this will take us, I think, this will lock the scores up at 10-all. Well, assuming he kicks it and the video referee awards it.
It's this point here, does Shaw touch it? Just after here, just his hand goes near the ball. Doesn't look like he does, but does he? Nope. That's a try. That's a reward for defence. Fantastic effort, fantastic heroics from Hull. They've kept themselves in there. Wigan must be kicking themselves. They've left 18, 20 points out there so far in this half. It's absolutely a try.
Looks as though Jordan Abdul will get the 4 points here, but Albert Kelly...
I tell you what they might be looking at is, did Shaw pull on the shoulder there? Just in that last time.
Do you think he did enough to affect him?
It's worth a look.
They're all contesting the ball, aren't they? That's
just looked a bit like Marshall got dragged away a bit on that last play, but it was very reactionary.
Jordan Abdul back in black and white after his loan spell with Hull Kingston Rovers last year. Has his try helped them get closer to that Wigan tally? It has. 10-8 now. Kick to come, bang in front of the post from Sneed. Half-time approaching, and we could be all square, which is at times hard to comprehend.
It is incredible, isn't it? The defence was amazing. George Griffin, doesn't he come up with some big plays? You think about that charging run almost out of nowhere. Over the years for Hull, he's just been, well, for a number of clubs now, he's been very good at doing that. Confirmed at 10-all.
10 points apiece at the Wynn Stadium. Abdul's first try of the season. And alert to this situation.
Well, Albert Kelly was involved in saving the try out of the field. He's in the picture there, he's in the frame. It's Shaw who's active and does enough there to help Abdul score that try. Jordan Abdul, he looks lean, fit this season. Out on loan last year at Hull KR. He's got the ability to end up as almost a Sean O'Lock, and he's a half-back, half-forwards player. He's got the skills and the size here now to trouble players and teams.
Tompkins resumes for the Wigan Warriors, who, well, they'll be kicking themselves surely that they hadn't really taken advantage of some disarray, and understandable disarray for Hull FC, because they've lost a player very early on in the game and had to regroup.
Yeah, it looks as though they're adjusting quicker than they've all seen. Siku Manu. And Dean Hadley is giving Danny Houghton a rest, isn't he? He's almost filled in as the temporary hooker.
Yeah, and it's important to see 14 Jake Connor on the screen. We saw him wincing in the background. If he was off, that was almost going to be unrecoverable for the whole team. But good to see him on his feet and pushing his way through the game.
10 points apiece. Hull won 3 from 4 against Wigan in 2017 during the campaign. The one that got away was the Super 8s game in September when Liam Watts was sent off, and Wigan won 30-22. So they've had some good contests in recent history, these two have. And they're having a good one here. And Wigan get the penalty. That ball popping out courtesy of a Hull hand, says Mr. Chechen. And Liam Watts was in the vicinity. Shake of the head, though, from the big front rower.
Well, they've got to be in a brilliant attacking position here. You imagine that as this kick goes to touch, George Williams will be communicating with players around him here. Liam Farrell, Oliver Gildart, Morgan Escaray. You'd have to fancy at some point in these next 6 plays, is he going to kick at goal?
Half-time approaching. Is the kicking tee approaching?
Well, possibly so.
Wow.
You know, it's amazing. Wigan had tried five other goal kickers last season. Sam Tompkins only had one attempt all year. 5 other players they trialled, they attempted to be the goal kicker. Eventually this season, Sam Tompkins seems to have taken it on to start the year. As you say, successful, very successful last week. Not bad so far tonight.
No. That's, tuition from Charlie Hodgson obviously paying off.
Well, what was amazing was Wigan's had the worst conversion rate of goals after tries in Super League last year. Only Leeds and Castleford scored more tries than the Warriors, but they were very poor at adding the extra 2 points after a try, and that might be the ultimate difference this season for them if they want to get to the grand final.
Although George Williams kicked 5 from 5 against Hull last September in that win. Tompkins, booming penalty from him, and Wigan nudge back in front with half-time approaching 12-10.
It may also be a reflection that Sam Tompkins' body is really comfortable with how he's going. It takes a lot of practice as well in kicking, come back from the injuries he did over the last couple of years, so perhaps it suggests that he's back to 100% and ready to not only kick goals, but play wonderful football. He stepped beautifully down that other end of the field early in the set. We just saw the Wigan attacking the whole line.
You could see Johnny Jack still getting the salute from Sam Tompkins as Wigan and Ryan Sutton come forward again.
Off the ball now!
Heading for half-time, and this contest very, very evenly balanced. And just what you want, and just what they want at the Wynn Stadium. Hoping to put on a show for the Wollongong and the Illawarra public, as well as the supporters who've made the journey, and at times it hasn't been without fault. There's been 1 or 2 errors in this game, but it has been a great contest.
It has been a bit pedantic. We just saw that error there out the back, or just a bit of confusion in the Wigan team, and the points have dried up since this wonderful rotation we've been talking about and applauding, with Tommy Luluwai coming off and Powell going from half-back to hooker. But Wigan do appear to have lost a little bit of rhythm in that time, so it's going to take, I think it's a good move. I think it's a brilliant way to play the game. It creates so many different options, but they are going to take a little bit of time to adjust to that. Having said that, Sam Tompkins is on the right, so they seem to be going to the right side a lot more than they did early on.
Half-time hooters sounding, fraction early. Looking at the timings, but it's been a hard first 40 minutes as it is. It's been warm, humid, and these players, in only their 2nd game of the season, a long way from home, have put in a big effort. And Wigan got off to a flying start, end the first half with a narrow advantage, with Liam Marshall making hay early on. It looked as though Wigan were going to cut loose, but Hull have come back strongly and set it up very nicely for the second half.
Brown misses it. Gehring over the top.
Today is the day to take that step. There's something impossible out there waiting for you. So we have a vision to make movement better for everyone. Because when we're free to move, anything is possible.
At Expedia, you can book your flight, hotel, car hire and activities all in one place. Atoll protected.
We've come a long, long way together, through the hard times and the good.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we have been and always will be by your side.
Are you on autopilot when it comes to sensitive teeth? Using a toothpaste that just numbs the pain? Try Colgate Sensitive Pro Relief. Its unique technology treats the cause of sensitivity, repairing teeth for instant and long-lasting pain relief. Colgate Sensitive Pro Relief. Stop numbing, start repairing.
Our house has helped us achieve so much.
It's where we raised our family. All the laughter and the tears.
And now our house has done the most amazing thing of all. Thanks to equity release, it's given us the money to enjoy our retirement, help the grandkids, and still live in the house we love.
So now we can do all the things we dreamed of.
To discover how your house can help you in retirement, call Key Retirement for your free equity release guide on 0800 0448 448 or try our calculator at keyretirement.co.uk.
Naturally brewed for over 300 years. Food loves Kickerman.
Feast your eyes upon this, matey. Set sail on an action-packed adventure with the complete Pirates of the Caribbean collection on Sky Cinema.
My people won't attack today, but we will attack. You can join us, or you can die.
Family. This great experiment.
I love you both so much.
Andrew!
I'm arresting you on suspicion of abduction.
You think this could be me?
Please give her back. I want my home returned to me. And then I will tell you who the Judas is.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that.
All right, Sky Sports Premier League channel today at 5:15 has Man City Leicester doubleheader tomorrow starting at 1:30 p.m. up at St James's Park. Newcastle, the visitors, are Jose Mourinho's Man United. And then we're down at Southampton for the visit of Liverpool. That's 4:15, same channel. Same channel again. Monday night football, Chelsea West Brom, 7 p.m. start for that one. Well, we are down under for round 2 of the Betfred Super League for the clash between the Wigan Warriors and Hull FC from Wynn Stadium in Wollongong. The half-time tale of the tape is the Wigan Warriors leading by just the 2 points, a late Sam Tompkins penalty with just a couple of minutes left on the clock in that half. And it is a closer scoreline, gentlemen, than you would have thought after the first 10 minutes when it was martial law all the way.
Didn't he stand him down? Marshall was outstanding there. They had an injury, we spoke about that, but they're 2 quick players that are chasing him down, the 14 and the one. There's outside backs, Shaw and O'Connor, and they get done again. You know, it's just brilliant speed. He pauses, accelerates. It's just, that's skillful. It looks simple, it looks easy, but Marshall's work there, remember that. That was an outstanding bit of rugby league.
You may have worried for Hull FC, Phil, but they dragged themselves back into the game.
Well, if you think Wigan looked as though they had an extra man on the field when they scored on the left, not the case here for Hull. Fatula Talano had to do an amazing trick there, didn't he, to stay conscious of his opponent and to twist and turn. The grip on the ball is impressive. We've seen a high number of handling errors, but not from him here, even under this pressure. And he grounds the ball perfectly whilst in mid-air to get them alive and on the scoreboard.
OK, 10-4 at that. Wigan then with a couple more chances. This one ruled out ultimately by the video referee, Tony. But air swing really for Marshall. Had a chance to ground.
Hey, you're right, it's a miss, isn't it? At first sight, you thought, no, it's a bit unlucky, but he gets his hands down there evenly. He's got every chance to put his hands on those balls. Just needs his eye on it. Good pressure around him, but he should be scoring their tries. We see Talanoa at one end, he should be scoring at that end.
We then got a glimpse of Hull FC in attack with a little bit more fluidity, but it came after a missed Wigan chance.
It was brilliant defence as well, wasn't it? When you think they're outnumbered there, the delays the pass, and Oliver Gildart, I'm sure, will reflect on that and think maybe I should have thrown the ball here. Jake Connor came up with one play, there was Danny Washbrook came up with another one, and then shortly after that we got to the other end of the field. And Jordan Abdul, fresh on the field. The subs from Hull have made an impact. They've been positive. and they needed to because they were poor at the beginning of this match.
If you're Lee Radford, Tony, as a coach sitting in the stands and you see Beretta Farimo come off so early in the match and it causes a reshuffle, there are some issues with that, of course, isn't there? I mean, Danny Washbrook spent some time in the wing. Jay Connor then went to the wing, but we got a little clip of Jamie Scholl and Jay Connor, the lack of communication, possibly a result of not spending time in, well, certainly Jay Connor, in that wing position.
Definitely were. They were distracted. You could see that they were thinking about other things rather than just clearly seeing the game, and it became simple errors out of there. It's not, you know, here we're having a look at it now, like, Connor's just got to stay away from that ball. He comes racing in because he's stressed. You know, he's stressed about the number of tries going down there. Shaw's got that covered every day of the week. You actually see the body language. It's all frustration. Just stay out of there. It's confusion.
There is a weakness there. There's no doubt because of the change of personnel. How do you take advantage of that, and how do you avoid going too much to that side where it becomes something that Hull can easily solve because they know you're going to keep coming that way?
You don't do any of that. You keep going at it. It is going to be, they're stressed. They can't get there. Like, I don't want to... I would just, if I was these guys, I would just keep going there. They did it beautifully, where you don't sort of rush over there and flood it with numbers. You attack down this side of the field away from there, so you recruit defenders over and just keep going there. You're only going to need in this game, you're going to need 2 or 3 more of those in the games away. Actually, it's funny that you're looking at they're pointing to the left. Go to the right, and let's attack on the left. Seems to be the message that I would be giving there all day.
You would think they would be relatively comfortable in the Wigan change rooms. They have the personnel, they have 17 to choose from. Not so for Hull FC, but Phil just 2 points behind. Just the Sam Tompkins penalty separating us. So there's a lot for Hull FC to take out of that first 40 minutes.
There is a worry, though. We see that Danny Houghton in the change rooms with the towel wrapped around him. That implies to me that he's probably not going to play any more part in this match, which puts a tremendous amount of pressure on Dean Hadley at hooker. But they did grow in confidence as the game wore on. They were slow at the start, they're short of numbers, but this will be a test here for them now. Josh Griffin made a wonderful run, didn't he? It was classic centre player, wasn't it? In and away, good feet, and then the acceleration. We haven't seen a lot, really, from him or for Tula Talanoa on that left-hand side, feeding him around there. They've got a bit to offer. I'm expecting to see, when Hull were at the best last season, Taylor and Watts were making ground going down the middle. If they get back to that, they'll take some stopping.
With Albert Kelly and Mark Sneed behind that. Some injury trouble for Hull FC. Remember, of course, they do have a match next week as well down under against St George Illawarra, but their focus now will be on the next 40 minutes of this Betfred Super League Round 2 fixture. They trail by just the 2 points. As I said, injury problems, and the Wigan Warriors would be confident, you would think, of exploiting those in the second half. But Lee Radford and Hull FC very much in this. Second half coming up shortly.
Big chase on him, Luke Gale with a drop goal! That's it! He has kicked it!
Introducing the new Jaguar E-Pace.
Oh, shit. I got this.
Can everybody go to the side of the road? No! Come on, what do I have to do?
Sheep whisperer.
We'll beat your renewal quote, guaranteed, when you buy car insurance at Confused.com.
We've come a long, long way together, through the hard times and the good. I have to celebrate your day.
Yesterday, today and tomorrow we have been and always will be by the side of British business.
I have to praise you like I should.
You can watch the latest movies straight from the cinema on your TV. Easy.
Get 50% off your first movie. Search Sky Store 50.
This is a story about you. It starts with your DNA, your 23 pairs of chromosomes that make you who you are. 23andme.co.uk is a genetic service where you receive personalised reports about your health, traits and ancestry. See how your 23 pairs of chromosomes help tell the story of one incredible you. Buy your kit today at 23andme.co.uk or at selected retailers.
This is what luxury included feels like. Chefs are creating masterpieces. The staff are making their finishing touches. Bartenders are shaking things up. Butlers are preparing for your arrival. When can we expect you? Sandals, the 5-star luxury included resorts. Call 0800 742 742.
Must be cool, having siblings from exotic places.
3 are adopted. 1's mine. No, they're all mine.
Family is this great experiment.
Here and Now, brand new drama, starts the 20th of February on Sky Atlantic.
See England as they look to retain their Women's Six Nations crown. Live on Sky Sports Action.
Them perhaps weave a little bit of magic.
Well, later on this evening, we've got live Championship Rugby Union for you. Ealing Bristol, that's a 6:45 start on Sky Sports Action. And tomorrow, it's Benetton against the Clonethy Scarlets. It's 1:45 for that one. It's Pro 14 Rugby Union. Sky Sports Arena, the channel. And then on Sky Sports Cricket, 6 a.m. on Tuesday from the Tri-Series T20. It's New Zealand against England. If you miss that match, catch the highlights at 7 p.m. again on Sky Sports Cricket. Right, we're at Wynn Stadium in Wollongong, round 2 of the Betfred Super League. Wigan have taken their home game down under, and they lead by 2 points at half-time. A late Sam Tompkins penalty against a Hull FC side who have been wounded in that first 40 minutes. Some significant injuries that they have to deal with. Players coming back out onto the field. Will man of the match come from this Hull FC brigade, or will it be a Wigan Warrior? A reminder that voting will be via the Our League app. 4 nominees will be promoted by some of the greats watching this game, and you can decide the man of the match that will be announced at the end of the game by Bill Arthur, who is joined in the commentary for the second half by Phil Clark and Tony Ray.
Wigan Warriors looking to put on a better show than they did on their last visit to Australia when they lost to Sydney Roosters 36-14 in the 2014 World Club Challenge, and that has been a source of irritation and angst for their coach Sean Wayne, and hoping to put on a better performance on this occasion in front of the Australian public. Well, it's a very evenly balanced game. They certainly put on a good display early on with that rip-roaring start, but Hull have battled their way back into this game. 12-10 it is as we get things underway in the second half at the Wynn Stadium on the Pacific shore in the Illawarra. What a great location for this Super League game. Mark Sneed just waiting for Matt Chechen to get us underway. Referee this evening, Matt Chechen. And Wigan first touch in this second half. So interesting to see what Hull's lineup will be in this second half if Danny Houghton is going to take any further part. Remember, very early on, new recruit USA international Biretta Ferrano went off the field with a head knock and is not coming back. So Hull suffering. Both sides struggling, I think, with the humidity at times in this occasion. You can see in the dressing room some very weary-looking players. It's draining conditions and a muggy night in Wollongong, but Gildart puts a kick ahead straight into the arms of Shaw, and he'll counter, but Wigan aware of the threat that Shaw poses on the counter and close him down quickly.
Well, one of the aspects from both of these performances in round one was that they were able to play faster, harder and for longer than their opponents. In the second half, they were strong last week. This will be a test here now to see which of the stronger, who can stay at that intensity for the longest period. They've got two options, I suppose, Washbrook or Hadley. Hadley could play as the hooker. It looks as though Dean Hadley will fill that role.
Shaw, Griffin upended by Dan Sargentson. Sneed, Taylor. He is brought down by Sutton. Willie Isa there as well. And Hull getting through this first set of the second half, getting to the kick. Sneed puts it in, and Wigan bring it back with Tom Davis, 21-year-old winger. Escaré. Here is Liam Marshall. Marshall trying to use his footwork, but Sikamanu gets a hold of him. The former Melbourne and Penrith player Sikamanu, are back in familiar territory.
Well, this is what Wigan do. Probably a bit more than their opponents. They expect both wingers and both centres to have lots of runs as Williams then tries to get that ball back. The backs are running backs very often, make ground, take the team forward.
Sutton, as Wigan give it some width again. Little kicker ahead, and Davis will chase this, and Shaw has to belt it over the dead ball line and into that terracing.
Really good set there from Wigan, exactly what they had to do with their first exit from their own half, and they've really created from wonderful effort, as Phil said, from all the outside backs, and then they earned another set of 6 here. This is really important. They just want to keep building pressure down here. You'd expect Wigan to dominate this half, but that's an over-expectation because this whole side fights so hard.
Jake Connor just debating something with the referee. Nice moment as Jamie Shaw just shared a word with the awestruck ball boys at that end of the ground. And it is a goal line dropout after all that. And Sneed, only the second of the game, I think this. Sneed launches that towards the halfway line. Williams gathers and then sets Talima Tautai on the charge. Bowden stood his ground to stop his progress, and teammates then brought Tautai down, but quick play the ball. Williams scampering through, trying to go all the way. Tackle just about 10 metres short. Needed to be a good tackle from Shaw, and Shaw taking his time to get off the stranded player and concedes the penalty.
I think that's one of the reasons why George Williams is so dangerous. He's not just a passer, he'll run at the line, won't he? He's committed the defenders. They're now uncertain when the ball goes left. Do they need to commit to Williams, or do they hang out for his players outside, and they're going back that way?
Tautai plays the ball. Here is Williams once again trying to step. This time Sikamanu gets a hold of him, but Powell gets the pass away to Sutton! And first points of the second half go to the Wigan Warriors. And no doubt about that one. No video ref decision needed on this Wigan try, because Ryan Sutton has powered onto that pass. And Wigan, just as they did in the first half, have hit the ground running and got points on the board, and Ryan Sutton gets his first try of the season.
It's a terrific call, Phil. Not only does William go to the line, he goes to it so hard. This is when he makes the initial break, and he's already posing the threat, got them thinking about if he runs, we've got to hold and defend on him. He goes again. They've got loose forwards in there, can't handle him. 3 defenders attracted to him, so space must open up elsewhere. Lovely offload from Williams. Fantastic bit of rugby league, and earned the right for a fantastic exit set. Great kick, built some pressure up. Wigan in a real dominant position now.
Ryan Sutton, who made way for the returning Sean O'Loughlin in the lineup for this game, coming off the bench and making his mark. He had a good season in 2017, missed only 5 games last year, and has come on a lot in the last couple of seasons. And Tompkins to extend Wigan's lead. Another player who's back on familiar territory, Sam Tompkins, after his spell with the New Zealand Warriors. And this one into the terracing, into that stand where the Wigan supporters are all massed. And they're enjoying this start to the second half, which has seen Ryan Sutton get on the scoreboard for the Warriors.
Well, if you catch your mind back just a few minutes, Wigan were trapped in a corner with a good kick from Hull, which Tom Davis eventually carried forward. And from that, they force a goal line dropout and then crash over by keeping the ball alive. It's a great start to the second half for the Wigan team.
He's dominated by this man, Williams. What'll be interesting, I think, for Wigan's season in the second half, it's not going to depend on this second half, but how Sam Tompkins blends into the attacking line now will be really interesting to watch unfold. He's going to spend the rest of the half in the halves. If he sat on that right-hand side, didn't touch the ball in that set, and it created a Wigan try. He's got the ball now. What he can do to liven up this attack will be interesting.
Escaré did well to take that pass because he was immediately caught by Sneed, but an indication of the threat that the French international fullback poses when he joins into the attack from fullback, because he generally joins at pace. Good kick coming in, and Hull forced to regather on their own try line. Connor thought about the pass to Shaw and wisely thought twice.
Well, George Williams was in Australia, wasn't he, for the World Cup, but didn't feature in that World Cup final. He's just trying to prove here that he is the quality #1 standout. Wayne Bennett, no doubt, probably watching this game here.
Neither did his captain, Sean O'Loughlin, of course, who missed that World Cup decider.
John Bateman was the only Wigan player, wasn't he, in that World Cup final. He's missing with injury at the present.
Well, good to see him doing run-on duties, in fact, for Wigan, John Bateman. So he's got some involvement. Wigan penalised, and Hull will breathe a big sigh of relief.
It's almost a mirror of the first half, isn't it, where Wigan started too quickly for Hull. They couldn't cope, couldn't handle some of the play. Penalties and errors from the Wigan side allowed Hull to build. Sean O'Loughlin looks as though he's about to reappear now, just 8 minutes or so into this second half.
So Hull just catching their breath, trying to settle into the second half. Hull with problems, as we've said. Players sidelined in this game. Taylor takes that short pass from Kelly. Kelly was optimistically hoping that Taylor might return the favour. The penalty is conceded by the sound of that shrill blow on the referee's whistle.
Well, now it is a mirror image of the first half, because they did go back-to-back penalties, Wigan, when they found themselves under pressure. So we've seen 2 there, and that's exactly what you don't want to see. If it is a hands on the ball, you always leave yourself open to that. And it appears that is a clear read for the referee. The halfbacks now are really important. Sneed and Albert. The hooker's away. He's injured. The captain's out, Houghton. They need to stand up. Sometimes you can play off the back of your forwards, but in this time the halves need to dominate. They need to change their ball carrier.
And there is error. Yeah, it's Jordan Abdul, who's the guilty party, and furious with himself. Chance goes begging.
There's points, sorry, there, Bill. I feel at this point in time that it's up to Sneed and Albert to really take the game on. They're the busiest game they've had, really lead rather than work off the back of others. This time they've got to pull Hull onto the game because they really need their input, given the injuries and the adversity they're facing.
Just wait, fellas. I'll give you
Players just taking their time to pack this scrum. As we've said, it's a sultry evening in Wollongong, and Wigan lead by 18 points to 10 in this Super League match. 2 Super League points at stake here. A lot being made of the chance to generate some income and to raise the game's profile, but at the bottom of it all, the bottom line is that there are 2 Super League points at stake. There's the Sterling Kenny Shield to be presented as well at the end of the game.
A conservative set from Wigan, haven't they? They've marched upfield, a few passes, and then the kick now. Oh no, it's a running play. Williams draws in the defenders. He's kept it alive and kicked at the end. Escaré's onto it.
Escaré still going. O'Loughlin trying to keep it going, and that's it. Turnover just for a moment. It looked as though Wigan are going to work the magic again, but O'Loughlin couldn't untangle himself to get that ball away.
Well, I know it's a little bit early to be voting for any man of the match, but I think George Williams would have to be in the shortlist. He's been outstanding, hasn't he? Run, pass, tackle or kick. He's shown all 4 aspects of his play and done them remarkably well. Constant problem for Hull to cope with.
Dean Hadley did well to get back to deny O'Loughlin the opportunity to get the pass away. I think he picked up a knock in the process, Hadley.
Please don't say that. That would be huge. Sneed's gone to the acting half position for most of this half, so he stepped in there.
They're looking like slow play the balls, aren't they? Whenever Hull have possession here now. It's kept it alive, which might give them some second phase play, but it's gone to ground here. They're going side to side. They're unable to go forward as easy as they did in the first half.
Shaw trying to take them forward with that weaving run. Hadley, you saw, just rejoining the action after a bit of treatment. Kelly, lovely run from Albert Kelly. Kelly looking for some support, gets the pass away, gets the pass to Minicello, but Minicello gets tackled at the same time, and that's great defence from the Wigan Warriors, because Kelly had done them there.
Well, this is what we were just talking about a moment ago. Shaw went into dummy half and dragged his team forward, and Kelly, rather than sit back off the back of it and look for a play, he took the game on. That's what he and Sneed have to be thinking like now. Really impressive stuff. Wonderful support play. Minicello, fair play is getting through. They got tackled at the same time. It's a hard catch to hold on to, that one. Encouraging signs for what they're thinking out there, Hull. That's how they have to work their way through the game with the injuries they do have now. They can't lose the dummy half threat now that Houghton's off. It's good to see Shaw. Sneed is a little bit there, and Kelly jumping in and taking that role.
Albert Kelly got 4 awards at the end of last season at the Hull FC Awards night, and one of them was for the try of the season, which he scored against Wigan in March when Hull won 22-20, and he very nearly produced another gem there. He got the players' player, the supporters' player, and the community player. Albert Kelly, big night for him. It's a hot night in Wollongong. Hull trailing against the Wigan Warriors.
Well, generally speaking, the hotter the weather, the more important having possession is. It's always essentially in rugby league to have a lot of the ball to win the games, but in these sort of conditions, in round 2, having flown to the other side of the world, holding on to possession is more important than ever. And Hull have come up with some mistakes, haven't they, that allowed Wigan here now in the opening 12 minutes this second half to have more of the possession, and therefore as well look fitter, look fresher and more threatening.
Both teams playing with wonderful energy, given what you've considered there. They come in the cold conditions, fly halfway around the world, you know, with 50-odd minutes into the game, and they really are going. And yeah, there's been a couple of errors, but there's wet, hot conditions. That happens in all games in hot conditions. You get errors anywhere in the world. The energy levels are super impressive from both these teams.
Ryan Sutton, scorer of the points in the second half, or the try in this second half. Tompkins puts the kick in. Davis is chasing it, so are his teammates, but runs too strongly for them, and Shaw makes sure it finds a touch and brings it back to the 20 for the restart. We've got a time to recuperate after this game. Then they've got their outstanding games in Australia. We've got an outstanding game to come later on here at 5 o'clock on Sky Sports Arena. The Catalan Dragons take on St Helens, who looked impressive in their round 1 game. Catalan didn't look so impressive, and they'll be looking for an improvement this afternoon. You can see if that comes when they take on Saints. 5 o'clock for that one. Hull looking for an improvement in their fortunes in this second half, and Watts trying to get the pass away to Kelly, who does well to react to that loose ball. Now Sika Manu, Tongan captain at the World Cup. Ball steal there, and penalty goes Hull's way.
That's an unforgivable error from George Williams. We're giving lots of compliments there, but you just don't have to do this. It's late in the tackle count, he's ripping at the ball. Probably going to turn around and say, I thought I was one-on-one. Well, don't do that. You know, keep pressure on the opposition. It's a tight game. Your forwards are working hard. He's got a bigger responsibility to do that. He's got to learn from that.
Mickey Paya is back on the field. He's back in Super League for his second spell, Mickey Paya. Second spell with Hull. Here is Liam Watts. And Hull about 12 metres out now. Probably the best position they've been in this second half. Kelly, short pass from him, finds Sika Manu. Little pass from Sika Manu. Ball back in field, but good defence. Danny Washbrook on the wing And Wigan making sure that that's where he stayed, and even further out, in fact, off the field.
I think Sikamano did a great impression here of a right centre, though. Look, even on goal, in and away, he gets inside him and then flicks the ball out the back. Isn't enough space, but
yeah, you can see what he's thinking, actually. First,
love the ambition.
Yeah, first view of it, I thought it was a dumb play. But when you look at it there, it was actually a clever play. You could see what he's thinking. It's just not a winger outside, even though he plays in that space. We'll see a few of these, won't we? We'll see a few of these injuries, won't we?
I wonder if there's any Hull squad members back home desperately looking for their passports at the moment.
They didn't watch miss out last week because of a hamstring injury. Travelled with the team, they expected him to play. Then Flower's going to come back on.
Now we're going to be under a bit of pressure here, a little bit of for their own doing. So they need to have a really tidy set here. If it doesn't, because they come up with an error, Hull need to sense this.
Wigan holding on to this 18-10 lead. Well, it's not really being challenged in the second half by Hull so far. Here's Farrell. It's the pass away to the 2017 Young Player of the Year, Oliver Gildart. Coming back infield, the centre. Runs into Abdul and Mickey Paya. Sean O'Loughlin just barking out a few instructions. Amazing to think Sean O'Loughlin's Wigan debut came in as a substitute against Hull FC in April 2002. Still going strong.
Great kick into the corner there now at this point. 15 minutes of the second half gone. The test is how many of these Hull players will get back with the energy here now to cart it forward. Talanoa's trapped. I think that's what Wigan want to do. They want to grind down the opposition here, test them for their energy.
Here is Minicello trying to inject some go forward into this Hull effort.
Great run from him, hasn't he? Doesn't know, one good run sparks the rest of the team to go forward, and Griffin gets them up to the halfway line. They need to play the game a little quicker with any ambition of reducing the gap. Griffin scoreboard.
Griffin frustrated there and feeling that the referee could have stepped in, maybe penalised the Wigan player as he was trying to get to his feet. As it is on the last, and the kick downfield. Escaray facing his own try line, so the ball went backwards, says referee Mr. Chechen. Mickey Paya then stops the full-back in his tracks.
This play is very important to Wigan, isn't it? Look, he's just made 13 metres on the carry. The ball clearly goes backwards, there's no debate. The Hull fans behind him are happy. But Tom Davies's carries, and then here Liam Marshall. You can't underestimate how important the two wingers have in the contribution. 15, 20 carries a game, over 100 metres. That's what's expected if you want to play out wide for Warriors.
Tony Clubb, they have got an embarrassment of riches when it comes to wing players, haven't they? When you think that Joe Burgess and Don Manfredi are waiting to come back into the side. Here you've got Davies and Marshall, joint young players of the year for the Wigan club. We've already seen Marshall's threat this evening. And Sargentson, that ball just seemed to slither out of his grasp.
You got the feeling then that gaps were starting to appear. The Hull players weren't all moving across and filling the holes as Wigan turned the ball back inside, and the spaces between one defender and another have grown to 10 metres at some point.
Yeah, it's very good read, and it's off wonderful footwork as well. I think don't underestimate Sean O'Loughlin's work in the middle. Powerful offload, a good run of his footwork. He danced through about 4 or 5 players. You can make 4 or 5 players miss you. Sargentson missed 3. Yeah, it was an error. That's where those holes are opening up there.
And Sargentson back from a mixed experience in Gold Coast. He was saying that he arrived to find his accommodation was an airbed in somebody else's flat.
Well, he has some big boots to fill, doesn't he, at Wigan? Anthony Gelling, the right centre, popular with a lot of fans, successful in a lot of his games last year. In fact, when Wigan did beat Hull at the KC Stadium back in September, it was Gelling who sort of ran over the top of Mark Sneed late in the game that put them ahead for that dramatic win. And sense if Hull can find a way, we might have some drama at the end of this one.
Move now! Unpredictable, I think, is the way you'd describe Anthony Gelling's approach. His approach to life, by the sound of things, as well. A real character, maverick character who Wigan have lost Michael McAlorum as well. And we'll see him in action with the Catalan Dragons later on today. And they take on St Helens. As mentioned, the game you can see here on Sky Sports.
Right, here's your chance, Hull. Tiring Wigan defence. Another error. We need Kelly and Sneed on the ball. They need to be pushing up, taking the line on like we've seen Williams. They can do that. Wigan are vulnerable.
Abdul takes that forward, no great pace. Remember, Houghton off the field. Here is Liam Watts. Sneed now. Sneed across the field. Short ball for Griffin, but Griffin cut down by Sarginson's tackle. The Hull edging towards that Wigan line. Minicello weaving run from him to Mickey Payer. Payer is cut down. Good defence this from Wigan Warriors. Club it was. And Kelly puts a little grubber kick in, but, well, it just started to bend back towards the chasing Jake Connor.
It's a nice touch, isn't it, from Liam Marsh? He's kicked the ball into the crowd, just apologising, hope it didn't hit anybody. The sportsmanship. You know, a lot of people who travel there will not forget this trip. Whatever the result here, the fans from Wigan and Hull, it's a journey for some of them once in a lifetime, perhaps, if not once in a decade, that they're going to have a memory like this. I think Jake Connor needed to push him in the back.
FC supporters enjoying their trip. They've got another game to come. St George Illawarra, the opposition next week. Ben Flower having more treatment for that bang. He's got a bit of a bruise, but it's not. It's a lot warmer than Hull today.
Well, Hull need to be hot with their attack here now. It's taken them 20 minutes to build to this situation, hasn't it? Put some pressure. Great kick though by over 50 metres to buy some land here.
The point's relevant though, Phil. This is a big set for Hull. They've had a little bit of momentum in terms of game tempo going their way. Just winning a ruck there, this is the time.
Hatley, Minicello.
Going to be critical of Mark Sneed in 7. He's just got to get on that ball more. He's sitting back too deep. He's waiting for the game to come to him. He needs to take this game on.
And Mickey Payer wrestling and the ball escaping his clutches. And Wigan celebrating. Wry grin on the face of Mickey Payer. Feeling there was a bit of skullduggery from Wigan there. Is it Sam Powell just nurdling that ball out of his grasp?
It's a huge error. There's a big missed opportunity in the tempo of the game there.
Come together, fellas. Hang on, whoa, whoa. Ben, thanks,
and the tempo does seem to have just slackened off a little bit. The conditions may be taking their toll on these players. Still be some jet lag in one or two bodies. Reading that Tony Clubb was struggling to come to terms with the jet lag and waking up at ridiculously early hours still. But Wigan leading by 18 points to 10. Here is Ben Flower now, Welsh international, making the hard yards. O'Loughlin gets the pass away to Williams, and Williams to Gildart, but Gildart stopped by Jake Connor. Here is Liam Farrell now. Sean O'Loughlin, Tompkins to Tompkins, Sam to Joel. 3 Hull players in there to stop the second rower's progress. That's the 5th tackle. Sam Tompkins hoists that one high towards those posts, and Connor underneath it. And Clubb and Flower collar the Hull player and drive him back towards those posts.
It's a great second effort from Ben Flower there, isn't it? You don't just concede and think the tackle's over. He worked hard, didn't he, to push Connor back towards his own try line. If you can make ground when you don't have possession, well, you're doing the right thing, and you're certainly putting yourself on the front foot.
Sikamanu makes some good yards for Hull FC there. They need to rediscover a bit of momentum, the black and whites. Here's Minicello doing his best to give them some of that go forward, some of that pace and vim and vigorosity. Here's Josh Griffin. Griffin was trying to get the pass round the corner, but there were too many Wigan bodies in the way.
Well, that was the world's most ambitious offload. Here's a chip over for Marshall.
And the referee will bring him back. That was a free play. The referee will bring him back to where that knock-on occurred. Frustration on the faces of one or two Hull players, as well as that sweat. Lee Radford up in probably an air-conditioned box up there.
Didn't need that offload. That's just not the play you go looking for. Build some momentum. There's enough time in the game. Off the back of his error, Mickey Pay's earlier error, a couple of moments before that, they did not need to go searching for an offload that wasn't there. They needed to put Wigan back on their own line. Maybe look for a repeat set rather than look for an offload.
Sean Wayne finger pointing, getting some instructions down. No second prize in this game. No second prize. A hit for Jimmy Barnes, the Australian rock legend who'll be performing in Wollongong on Sunday. Stone Cold. That was it, wasn't it, Tony? You must be a big Jimmy Barnes fan.
Tear in my eye there, mate. Tear in my eye. Great memories.
Diesel on the bill as well. Darryl Braithwaite, Australian rock legend. Meanwhile, Wigan and Hull taking centre stage in Wollongong on this Saturday evening.
Still doesn't sound right when you say it, Bill. I don't know why.
What's that?
Well, there's Australian great singer.
Darryl Braithwaite. Sounds like a former Wigan legend, never mind an Australian rock legend.
It's Ronnie Braithwaite.
It's 20 metres out with the Wigan Warriors, who lead 18-10, looking to extend their advantage. Take a firm grip on this game, and Gildart Hull get a firm grip on him. Shepherd him towards the sideline. The ball comes backwards, and it's still in Wigan hands.
Great play both on attack and defence. Wigan stretched their opponents, didn't they, to the right, then back to the left. They're coming again now to centre field. Will they keep it alive? Club goes in now. He's held up 10 metres out. Another score here could be vital and crucial to the complex of this game here.
Sam Powell gets the pass away to Sean O'Loughlin. Over the top. Marshall puts the kick in and out of play, and the chance goes away, and Hull breathe a sigh of relief because Wigan were ramping up the pressure there.
Hull have kept the hopes alive. The lead cannot extend from 8 points to have any chance here now. Just had one try in the second half. Hull haven't really looked like scoring.
And look at this defence out here, Bill. Phil, we spoke about it. You said that they started to get those numbers right. They look comfortable. They did look comfortable the first time. So good repair at half-time.
The man of the match, of course, this season being chosen by you, the fans, via our league app, and the panel of former rugby league greats have chosen 4 candidates, and the voting is now open. George Williams, Liam Marshall, Dean Hadley, and there's one more. Just waiting for confirmation of that. Tom Davis, that's the other candidate. So voting is now open, and we'll announce the man of the match as usual at the end of the game.
Wow, tackled by his own man. He was through the gap. It's a great return from the kicks with the speed that Wigan have now. Gildart charge forward here towards the sideline. It's a risky play. Needs to stay in field here. There's a surge coming here, you sense, from Wigan.
Here is Liam Farrell. Farrell evades Mickey Pay, and then the two of them concede the tackle. It does look as though the energy levels might be dipping. Wigan looking to livelier in the final quarter of this game. Hull trying to keep them at bay, knowing that another Wigan try in the game may well be beyond them. Sam Powell, Wigan certainly having the territorial advantage in this second half. The pass, though, didn't stick for Liam Farrell, and Hull have it back. They'll get head and feet at the scrum.
Well, that's a big decision, isn't it, from the referee? Was it a Hull knock-on or one from Wigan? They've survived, haven't they? They've looked so dangerous, the number of options. It's come from Hull. That's the reason why I think Wigan didn't take the pass in, knocked down, and this really is a survival 60 seconds now for Hull. Look at Sean O'Loughlin, pass inside, pass outside, or another player at the back with Samuel Tompkins. When you've got a ball player like Sean O'Loughlin with 3 options, 3 short passes, people get fixated with long passes in rugby league, but a short pass of a metre or 2 can be equally as deadly. Sean O'Loughlin, one of the best at exploiting that.
Steve Blakely, the physio, just checking on Ben Flower again, who's been in the wars in this game, but he's still out there.
Isn't this impressive from Hull? Now, they are out on their feet. 2 significant injuries. hot conditions. They might be tired, but they're not, not as tired as I think we all think they are. I think they're really hanging in here. It's a big set for Wigan. If they get this, they can crack the game open. They're going to have to work really hard to do that because of the way this whole team's attacking this defensive effort.
Joel Tompkins sidling towards that whole try line, just a few metres away now of the Cherry and Whites. They're using the big battering rams, and Flower held up.
Kids. Tackle two, mate. Tackle two. Got no try.
Another video ref decision. No try, says Matt Chechen. Held up, but he wants
16, I believe.
video ref Stephen Chitty to confirm that Ben Flower didn't get that ball back. That black eye swelling up, a ball down, I should say.
Well, Jordan Abdul tries his best. He's aware of what he aims to keep the legs and body under the ball. It's almost impossible, isn't it, for the video ref to determine?
I think it's down. I think that's a try.
I just want to confirm
Where's the ball? There.
Position all the way through there, but I'm pretty sure that ball gets to the ground in the early part.
That's a try.
Well, Matt Chechen,
I can understand with Matt Chechen on this side why he didn't think it was a try, but I agree, it did look, didn't it, instinctively like he'd got the ball down.
This is the angle. It was down for half an hour, actually. I think it's significantly. They're just checking whether he loses the ball on the way down to the ground. There's no doubt it gets there. It's just, does he hold on to it all the way down? There it's down. That's a try.
And that looks like a try. Can you go back to that first angle, man? I still think that was the best. It showed the ball on the ground.
Steve Chitty, the video ref, having a good look at this one. Ben Flower, who has been outstanding for Wigan Warriors tonight, not among the man of the match candidates, who you can see on the Our League
just
app.
there, we can see the ball underneath.
But he has given
okay, mate, we've got a decision
all
going
for the Wigan Warriors in this contest. And he looks as though he's got his reward with that try if the video ref confirms it. In only his second Super League appearance since last April, and confirmation comes that Ben Flower has scored what could well be the decisive try in this game. And a similar effort to that of Ryan Sutton, the other try scorer in this second half for the Wigan Warriors. After the flair of the first half and those Liam Marshall tries, it's been brute force from first Sutton and now Ben Flower.
Well, he makes very many brave runs. Here he gets a glory run, doesn't he? Close to the line. He has to be brave as well. With a number of defenders and bodies around him, Dean Hadley, Jordan Abdul, they're all in and around that area, Jamie Shaw, but it turned back inside, goes hard and low, and with the determination that ensures here, I think that Wigan will travel with 2 points back when they fly home for the Super League remainder. Joe Tompkins backing off, getting close to the try line, and from this range, with a little bit of fatigue setting in, approaching the last 10 minutes, he's unstoppable. 4 more points, which Tompkins will add to, I'm sure, with a conversion.
Bang in front of those posts, and the Wigan supporters and their drummer celebrating. You know that the public in Wollongong have been amazed at the enthusiasm of the Wigan and Hull supporters. As mentioning earlier on, hearing the Hull fans singing Old Faithful. Apparently it was really spine-tingling stuff, such emotion on display. And Tompkins lands 2 more points, and Wigan could be on the way to landing the points in this contest. And Ben Flower celebrating his first try since August 2016 when he scored against the Castleford Tigers. So a long wait between tries for the Welsh international, but he's earned that tonight. Not surprisingly, he got the Community Player of the Year last year for Wigan, because he had a lot of time on his hands with injury to do a lot of community work, and he did a good job of it, got that award. Back on the field now.
Well, Hull be disappointed there. It was a great kick from Mark Sneed. Bounced, eventually went over the 10-metre line. No other players can touch it till it crosses that line. But then it came up in the hands of the Wigan Warriors, so their attempt to get the ball back is lost, and we're approaching now inside the last 10 minutes. Wigan with so much possession, rolling forward again, you know, back to that favoured left-hand side. What Williams' magic does he have?
Williams to Gildart coming back infield, and ducks under the first challenge. Washbrook went in a bit late maybe, but Referee plays on. Here is Sean O'Loughlin, shows the pass, gets it away to Tompkins, who finds brother Joel, and Joel fronts up against Mickey Paya. Tommy Luluai just organising things, a wave of the hand. O'Loughlin again, Dan Sarginson. Sarginson fancied itself, but couldn't go through, and that's the turnover. A bit of a scuffle there. Josh Griffin and Dan Sarginson having a disagreement, but it will be the turnover. Frustration maybe for the FC players.
Fellas, it's a play the ball here. Tackle fight hand
We'll spend another week in this part of the world together, and it'll be Hull's play the ball. Some more action coming up next week from Australia, the World Club Challenge. Wigan, of course, still technically the reigning World Club champions, but that title will go to either Melbourne Storm or the Leeds Rhinos, and that's next Friday from 8:30 AM on Sky Sports Arena, and Hull FC in action on Saturday when they take on St George Illawarra, 6:30 AM, again on Arena on Sky Sports. And at 8:40, South Sydney take on the Wigan Warriors. Once more, Sky Sports Arena. Some more action from Australia. And this the first of the games in the Southern Hemisphere. And it looks as though it's Wigan who are going to come out with the points. And here is Sarginson. Skips away from the challenge, putting the footwork on now. Not taking anything away from this Wigan effort, but Hull have been up against it virtually from the word go when they lost Beretta Faraimo to a head knock. They've lost Danny Houghton to injury as well, by the look of things.
Knock on, boys. One-on-one strip, knock forward.
And then they've lost the ball there, I think, thinking they got it back.
No, it was a very late call. He's actually gone back several seconds before that, really, to the incident where Hull came up with possession. And he said that Hull have stripped the ball, but they've pulled it forward here in the tackle on Dan Sarginson. So one-on-one strip, but the ball's gone forward, you see, from Hull. So he really should have, at that point, stopped the game. He allowed another play the ball.
Well, Hull wins about that double repeat. I think the knock-on actually comes up to play the ball, and you can see why they're having a bit of a complaint there. It did seem like a second effort in defence.
Let's go, fellas. Come together. If you want time off your bind, fellas, you know the rules. Let's go.
Very experienced referee, Matt Chechen, has mentioned he's refereed the last two NRL Grand Finals. He's in fact the NRL referee of the year, so in capable hands, these Super League players. And here is Tommy Luluai now to Ben Flower. Flower puts his head down against, no wonder he's got a great big bruise under his eye. The way he goes into the challenges like that fearlessly, and Hull penalised. Bit of a debate between Tommy Luluai and Sam Tompkins, and Luluai takes matters into his own hands and gives the ball to Liam Farrell. 24-10 the scoreline. Closing minutes of this contest. Luluai, Tompkins, Joel Tompkins, ball back, but it's been snaffled by Minicello. Escaray was trying to go through, but Minicello took it from his grasp at the crucial moment. Sarginson and Griffin are having quite a tussle there, and Josh Griffin not appreciating it.
Well,
tempers fraying. That one's been brewing for a while. Josh Griffin, I think, frustration growing. Now Morgan Escray wants to get involved. They all want to get involved.
Seems a bit late for the pushing and shoving now. Ref's going to try and calm this down here. Maybe saw Sam Tompkins. Don't want to have to do. They're going to win this game, aren't they? They've conceded a penalty. They drag him for too long over the sideline. That's what the initial penalty's going on for.
Sam, see you, mate. Off you go. Go.
And somebody's going in the bin. I think it is Sam Tompkins. Shake of the head from him. Don't forget, man of the match is being chosen by fans via the Our League app this season. And the Rugby League greats have chosen their 4 candidates. Voting is now open. And we'll announce the man of the match, as usual, at the end of the game.
Just wait, mate.
So the game ending on a bit of a ill-tempered note. Josh Griffin in the bin. Sam Tompkins likewise. And Wigan heading for 2 Super League points, which is what it's all about when all's said and done. There's a very impressive trophy to be presented. But the object of the exercise is to maintain their good start to the season. 100% record it'll be for the Warriors then, after beating Salford in round 1 convincingly. They've had to work very hard for the points here. That is, unless Hull can find something in the closing minutes. Seekamanu furious there.
It hits a Wigan player.
It's like a little magic trick, wasn't it? Now you see, now you don't, but
it hits the Wigan
you can hear the referee saying it's hit a Wigan player, therefore you've lost possession, it's a knock-on.
Nice clear refereeing. No doubt for the players what he's seen. Right or wrong, it didn't appear to be the right decision.
Seekamanu convinced that ball went backwards and he should have been allowed to play on. No such luck. And it'll be Wigan head and feed. Sean O'Loughlin on the sidelines. Satisfactory return to action for the 35-year-old.
What a difficult trip it is to get to this game. What terrific energy from both these teams. Have kept themselves going. Been some errors, been some challenging conditions. Been a terrific event. Really good work from the Wigan club to take their home game down. They really must see this incredible representation of themselves and a successful and worthwhile venture.
Well, both clubs have done a lot off the field in the build-up to this, as well as training and preparing. They've been really putting themselves out and about, getting involved in the community, getting a lot of positive feedback. And they're there for another week for those games next weekend. Escaré goes for 1 point, hits a whole body, comes back to him, and Escaré, instead of going for 1, they'll get the try from Dan Sarginson. Well, that's a lucky ricochet, although still not confirmed yet.
Total 5, Chids.
And it wouldn't be the same if Chids, that's the video ref, Steve Chiddy, didn't have a say in things, as he had in most of the tries in this game. I think it's offside that they're looking at.
Given that
Escaré was back. Sorry, Tony.
Sorry, it was just given he's so far back, it's everybody's in front of him, so you've got to have a look at that.
11 there is standing in front of the kicker.
That's Sarginson at the bottom of the screen. He actually is behind Escaré.
Joel Tompkins, though, the player.
Yep.
Can we just see that collision again? Yeah, mate, talk to me. So just where the ball hits him.
Can you hear him? Can you hear Chids? I can't.
Okay, so just watching there.
When the boot makes contact with the ball.
7, yeah.
And then it comes back to Joel Tompkins and eventually ends up in the hands of Dan Sarginson. What's the decision?
It's a penalty to Hull. Tompkins is being deemed to be in front of the kicker and not put onside by the kicker.
A look at the grounding, and it looks as though this one is going to be denied.
Thanks, mate.
Joel Tompkins offside when that kick ricocheted, so Dan Sarginson doesn't celebrate his return to Australia with the try.
We talked just before that about the effort that Wigan have made to put this game on, and that, you know, almost 30 years ago Wigan played Warrington in Milwaukee, North America. And I know a lot of the players and supporters who went over to that still talk about that trip. Great memory from those days. I've no doubt that all of the Wigan and Hull fans and the players themselves will have some great memories, although the Hull players will have hoped that they finished a little bit stronger than they have today.
Leeds fans, of course, heading for Australia as well to watch the World Club Challenge. The Rhinos arriving. Josh Walters getting a late caller.
Keep working, mate. Hold.
And not a bad turnout at the Wing Stadium. 23,000 capacity there. Normally, well, around 12,000 in for this game. So quite a lot of locals wanting to see two big names from the British game, the Wigan Warriors and Hull FC, and it's Wigan, who are going to take the prize here, the 2 competition points. Sneed belts that ball across field, looking for Jake Connor.
Another scrum.
And Connor almost got on the end of it, but
whatever
ball
Jake Connor's
evaded
involved
him.
in, it tends to be the spectacular, the dramatic, the memorable. He's trying to half follow this then on now, isn't he, into the in-goal area, but they won't have enough in them now here to come back from this. The last few minutes of this match, they'll probably reflect on the fact that they lost Danny Houghton, the hooker, and Beretti Ferimo as well, the right winger, very at the start of the match. But I think they've been outplayed, haven't they? And the test for Hull,
Let's go, fellas. Come together.
is to recover
Seconds,
from that
hop
for
in.
next week.
Wait for
The
it.
clash
Out.
back up north, an hour's from where they are up in Sydney,
It's the ball.
and they take on the St George Illawarra Dragons.
Hold.
Wigan playing South Sydney, same day. 2 games you can see on Sky Sports, and Hull's big
Here it is.
pack has been met with a big effort from the Wigan pack as well. Ben Flower at the heart of it.
Off the arm. Hold,
And
fellas.
he's got to try.
Hold.
Ryan Sutton likewise.
Go 3.
Luluai, Tony Clubb. Oh, nice footwork from Clubb. Don't forget, he was a winger back in the day. Tony Clubb was, when he came into rugby league. And the hooter sounds.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
And Wigan celebrate in Wollongong. The Warriors on the road have got the Super League points. They've beaten Hull. And after the lightning starts, Hull fought their way back into the game, but really Wigan have dominated the second period.
Cheers, sir. Thank you.
And their forwards outgunning the Hull pack. And the players have coped with the humid conditions in front of a crowd of nearly 12,000. They put on a big effort. And Wigan have been rewarded with the competition points. Liam Marshall there with 2 fizzing tries earlier on. Could have had a hat-trick. And 24-10, the final score in Wollongong.
Yes, thanks very much, Bill. Wigan 2 from 2 to start the Betfred Super League season. Just 2 points in it at half-time, with 12 unanswered second-half points for Wigan. Ryan Sutton and Ben Flowers with tries converted by Sam Tompkins saw them win out by 14 points in the end. Tony Ray, I should say. Fair to say, it's hard to make too harsh a judgment or an assessment of Hull FC considering the injuries they picked up in that match.
I can't believe they didn't get blown away by more than that. They just showed so much tenacity in these conditions to hang in there. You could see their frustrations late. The last try, the Flower try, then you notice the fullback Shaw was trying to push his forward left to right, trying to drag them around. They were dead on their feet, but they kept getting to their feet. In some ways, we're going to be a little bit more frustrated. They probably would have felt like there was more in that game for them. But don't underestimate the stresses they were under. Phil said before the game, they're under a lot of pressure taking a home game down there. Big event. Would have been a big build-up. A lot of energy in the build-up to it. And both teams, whilst it wasn't an absolute classic, it was a very good representation of effort and energy levels out there.
As you thought might happen, there was a little bit more space for George Williams as that half grew, dragged on a little. There was some opportunities for Albert Kelly and Mark Sneed, and you made a point in your commentary that Sneed in particular didn't step up. Hull FC found themselves in good attacking position, but seemed short of ideas. Down to fatigue or just down to missing the jump from Mark Sneed?
Missing the jump from Mark Sneed, I thought, because don't forget Wigan were tired and stressed, so you've got to sense that. The scoreboard wasn't running away from him. As a half, I thought Kelly tried to do it a couple of times, but you just need to take the game on. It's a learning experience. I hope they're talking about that to him now, because he can run the ball well. Williams did it. Tompkins didn't. Just gives you space, as Phil mentioned in the commentary, gaps start opening up, spaces start opening up in the defensive line. The Wigan team didn't want Sneed running at him. He didn't run at them.
Success for Wigan, 2 competition points. Time will tell whether or not this experiment will be deemed a success. But when you see pictures, Phil, of such large numbers of fans having come over from this country to go all the way down to Australia to support their side, it will give you hope that maybe this may not be a one-off occasion.
Well, one of the things I think professional sport's about is memories for both the players and the fans, and there's no doubt that this occasion, even though Danny Washbrook and his whole supporters have lost this game, they seem to be enjoying themselves and having a great memory, and it's important that we're able to provide those opportunities and build on this occasion. But ultimately, it's got to make money, because that's what professional sport's about.
Tony said that Wigan may be a little bit frustrated with their performance and maybe the fact that they didn't kick on as much as you may have thought they would do in the second half, just 2 converted tries. Do you agree with that assessment?
They seem to play more conservative. I have to reflect again, but they stayed in the centre of the field more. There wasn't as much movement to the ball, particularly in their own half of the field. And maybe that was a surprise. But I suppose if you gain control of a game, and they had control in that arm wrestle, they just wanted to make sure that they stayed in that position. With an 8-point lead, they didn't make as many mistakes. There were 2 opportunities for Hull in the second half when they got close to Wigan's half, but they lost possession on both occasions.
Now, both of these sides have got another game to roll out into next week. Wigan, we're not yet sure if they picked up any injuries. We know Hull FC have picked up injuries. Danny Houghton left the game early. Beretta Farimo left it in the first couple of minutes. But whether or not they make the game against St George is yet to be seen. But all the way over the other side of the world with an already skinny squad, that could be quite a challenge next week, Tony.
Well, it's definitely going to be a challenge. I guess they've got preparation and time to lead into that, but this is the danger of taking it to the squad for 2 games. Be interested to see how many players they did take down there, where they do have coverage in it. And they probably are, literally, they probably are getting players on the plane, you know, thinking about that now, because it is an important event for them. They're representing themselves. It also, you know, the old cliche, gives somebody else a chance to go down there and experience this wonderful feeling that they'll be having down there. Isn't it great for those supporters? The game's opened them up and taken them out of, out of their comfort zone and their experience on the other side of the world to go down and see Wigan receive this trophy.
You can see it, the Kenny Sterling Shield, inaugurated in honour of the 2 great halfbacks that contested the 1985 Wembley final, Peter Sterling and Brett Kenny, lifted jointly by Sean O'Loughlin and Sam Tompkins for the Wigan Warriors. Quite a carving and a trophy fitting of this unique occasion, the first ever game in which Super League was played outside of Europe. OK, let's have a look back at the highlights of that match. Again, this is the second half, and the opening try went to Ryan Sutton, but came when George Williams freed the game up a bit.
Well, I suppose if you look at this positively from a Hull perspective, the 2 tries that Wigan scored in the second half were forwards crashing over from close range. They seemed structurally or systematically to get the right players in the right positions, Hull, didn't they? And they prevented Wigan running around them, as they had done in the first half, but they couldn't prevent them running through them, not with the determination that Ben Flower has there from that range, and rightly grounded the ball. The referee eventually gave that as a try. The 2 tries that they scored, sheer weight of possession and the position of the field that they played the game.
On-field referee said no try, overruled by the video referee, and Ben Flowers had to wait a long time, as Bill said in the commentary, August 2016 since his last try. He's had to be patient. It's good to see him back, Tony, because he's a man who's suffered in recent years with injuries.
Yeah, very much so. He handled that really well, didn't he, that game, because it was a tough game in the middle of the field. You can see the player nearest to us in the middle of the screen, dead middle of the screen in 11. He's deemed Joel Tompkins is offside when the ball ricochets. They have to call it that way, even though it doesn't look like he's having any effect in the game to the letter of the law. He stood in front of the kicker, and the kicker, maybe if the kicker drifted him onside, it would have been a try.
You get a little look there at the danger of Morgan Escaray in an open game, how quick he is. I mean, you got Escaray, you got Tompkins, you got George Williams. If a game is blown open, we're going to look very much a threat.
And perhaps that tactic of leaving him on the bench for the first 25 minutes means that he's fresh and faster when he gets on, and there's some fatigue set in their opponents. It makes him even more dangerous. And as the game wore on, he does look that, doesn't he? He's got brilliant footwork.
They will be watching this in huge numbers, of course, over in Hull. How do you think the Hull FC fans would assess that performance?
Should be very proud. They've taken their club down, they've represented themselves well. They got 2 tries against them early on. We talked about it too much, I suppose, but it was from an injury. They were exposed out there. They couldn't react. It took them out of the game. But, geez, they hang in there. Yeah. They've gone to a big event. They've represented themselves well. They got a little lesson. We spoke about it a moment ago. The halves have to stand up.
I think also, though, we underestimate how important Danny Houghton is to the side. You know, I mean, we take it for granted. He's such a consistent performer for the whole team. You know, passes the ball and dictates it. And maybe we don't appreciate what impact he has on Kelly and Sneyd when he's on the field there, really, the role he plays around organising their attack and the creativity.
It's a good point when he is out. They're maybe not used to him being out.
Yeah.
Which is possibly where my criticism came from.
Right, that's the thoughts of Tony and Phil. We can hear now from the man of the match. He got 53% of the vote. Wonder how he is after playing in such humid conditions. George Williams, your assessment of that match?
Yeah, real tough. Struggling to breathe, but what an achievement to come over here and get 2 points. Good for the young fellas, and I really enjoyed it.
George, can you give it an indication as to the atmosphere there? It came through the screens that there was a lot of noise, as you would expect from Hull FC and Wigan fans. Something you guys fed off?
Yeah, it was really good. Really proud of the fans that have come over and spent the well-earned money, and yeah, it was a great advertisement for rugby.
OK, George, just looking forward to next week's game against South Sydney. You're trying to avoid the camera on us. Looking forward to next week's game against South Sydney. What will your approach be going into that match?
Same to this week. We're going to enjoy the surroundings first on Coogee and live the high life a little bit, but then we'll train hard. Yeah, looking forward to another big challenge.
All right, congratulations, camera shy George Williams. Look, that's part of it. You see a young man, still a young man, great experience down under. They'll make the most of their trip down there and then switch on again for what will be a challenge against South Sydney with the new coach in charge there.
I suppose from a playing point of view, you've got individual learning and team learning, and what they want to benefit from that. I think they're hoping that this investment in the trip and the journey over there means that for the rest of the season and for future seasons, they have got better players and a better team. So that test was just against an English-based side. Not a lot of difference other than the conditions. Next week poses a different threat. It's a different style of game, a different intensity, and a different opponent who they won't have played before.
Okay, Brian, I think he just experienced what his parents used to in the 70s with the phone calls, with that delay, that conversation with you.
Well,
that's a new experience.
We're going to go back to the 70s again because we can speak to the Wigan Warriors head coach Sean Wayne, who has got 2 competition points in the Betfred Super League. He's picked up a suntan as well. Sean, your assessment of that victory?
Scrappy, Brian. I don't think it was great today. We did some good things, but I think we could have killed the game off in the first half if we'd have executed. I think we lacked a bit of composure in that first half. We could have been at a decent lead at half-time, but I'm very happy with the win, but we won't be celebrating that much tonight.
You've got an interesting rotation policy with your full-back, your halves and your hooker. How do you assess its performance as an entirety today?
Yeah, good, Brian. I thought they was going to get Salford. I thought they were good today. It seems fairly seamless when we make them changes. I like it. I like how it works, and I like how Tommy, Sam Powell, Sam Tonk, I like how they all work with each other, and it's working for us at the moment. So we're going to stick with it. It's a different attacking threat when we make them changes. You know, people will find fault with it, but we like it as a club and a coaching staff, and we'll stick with it.
Sean, Liam Marshall's performance, 2 early tries for him in which he left the likes of Jake Connor and Jamie Shaw for dead. Difficult decision to not pick Joe Burgess for this match?
Yeah, I mean, Joe's a great player. You know, I mean, Marshall backed up that try with dropping the kick-off, and he made an error on the kick, so he's things what he needs to improve on. You know, but Joe Burgess is a good player as well. You know, he's a tough one. But I think Marshall did enough against Salford to convince me that he deserved another shot.
OK, Sean, thank you very much and good luck next week against South Sydney.